think of the pilots. They go in there, they're under fire. I was watching this from the Situation Room, and you get to see things in situations you wouldn't believe. And they said, "Sir, they have entered Iran airspace." All of a sudden, you see much faster. Then you see him going down at the whole thing was crazy. I actually said, "Do people really want to do that for a living?" They're waiting for him, but the equipment is so good. The B-2 bomber, stealth. They never saw them. They never saw them. I mean, it's the most amazing thing. And I honored the pilots at the White House. I had them brought in, along with mechanics and a lot of other people. We brought them to the White House to give a little celebration because they flew 37 hours flawlessly. Now compare that to the Jimmy Carter Iran situation with the helicopters crashing and the this and the, oh, what a horror, and the hostages. And I said, we can't let that happen, but we have a great team. General Raisin Kane is unbelievable. The whole group is unbelievable. And they went in, and I brought them into the White House, and I brought them then into the Oval Office, the pilots. And we met them, all handsome. They look like Tom Cruise. They really do. I don't want to be a wise guy and say, but taller. I'm not going to say that. No, they're perfect specimens. I mean, these guys are like from a movie. I could take everyone, put them in a movie. And I said to him, "So what's the story with that raid? Did you expect?" Because you remember I pulled it back because I saw reporting that we're going to be leaving at a certain time. And I said to the general, "Is that not good that they think that?" And they sort of got it right. They saw a lot of activity. Actually, you know why? They saw one of the things. They saw a lot of unbelievable activity going on at the McDonald's next to the base where they take off. The McDonald's was doing 5 times. They were going crazy. So they say, there's something going on over there. The biggest activity that McDonald's had ever had. And there was a nice story, how well it's doing, but that was not a good story for us. So I canceled it and then I announced we're canceling it. And the pilots said they were devastated. Then I put it back at the exact same time because that was the only time they weren't thinking would happen. And we left exactly in time, but that was after canceling it 2 days before. And then we put it right back in the exact same slot. And we had identical planes, the B-2s flying four of them, flying into Guam. And they thought that was the attack team. And they were watching those planes in Guam, going to Guam, and that was not the planes that we had. But think of it, they flew both ways 37 hours without a sputtering of a bad engine, without any problem. But they got in and they said they have entered Iran airspace and the enemy's waiting for them. And they dropped the bombs, they hit every chute. You know, they have air chutes that go deep into the granite mountains. If you don't hit those chutes, the damage won't be as big as you want. And every bomb hit every chute. And then we hit them with rockets from a submarine that was quite a distance away, 30 of them. Let's put it this way, they got hit. And it totally took out the nuclear capability. And I said to these guys when they came in to the office, I said, do you guys like doing this stuff? You know, they said, "Sir, it was the greatest day of our life." Can you believe this, Congressman? It was I mean, they're like heroes. They're like American heroes. Who the hell wants to sit? You know, those ships are very big, but they're very small when you're up way high, going very fast. And he said it was the greatest day of our life. And they told me something that I didn't know. They said that, "Sir, do you know we waited 22 years for this, our predecessors and us. We would practice this run for 22 years. I didn't know that. For 22 years, we had to practice. We'd do it 3 times a year. We would practice this exact run. And then when you canceled it, because I canceled when they heard that we were coming, we were devastated." I said, "See, now if I were a flyer and they canceled, I'd be extremely happy. Well, we're canceled, so let's forget it." But we were devastated. So I said, "This is something you really love, right?" "Yes, sir. We were so honored. This was the greatest day of our life." I mean, it's really great. We just have incredible people in this country. It's an amazing story. And they hit, and then they said, "Skedaddle," the word skedaddle. And that plane went psh, like this. You know, when it drops a bomb, it goes down very steeply because that gives it a better angle and, you know, more speed for the bomb. Very, very heavy bombs. and they go boom, and as soon as those things, the one pilot, the first one said, "Skedaddle," and that thing just turned in its side, and it's so unbelievable, and that knocked out Iran nuclear capability, and all of the Middle East became a different place, and now we have peace in the Middle East, and